Church service comes on the same day the Religious Freedom Act takes effect in Indiana. It's a law that sparked a great deal of controversy during the last several months. State House reporter Katie Hines talked with the governor about RFRA today, and she is live in the newsroom with details.
Erica, Governor Pence says he has been pleased to be able to work through the difficult period of time the state suffered and resolve the issues in a way he says have calmed the waters. The governor points to the state's economic growth in the 2 months after he signed the bill. He says it's a testament to the resilience of the state's businesses and the people who live here. The Religious Freedom Act put Indiana in the national spotlight this spring when opponents argued it would serve as a license to discriminate, specifically against gays and lesbians. Supporters say it was created to protect the religious freedom of people and businesses from government intrusion. The act prompted protests and threats of boycotts before legislative leaders crafted a fix to the law saying that it can't be used to discriminate against anyone and also include sexual orientation and gender identity.
Ensuring that we are a state that respects the dignity and worth of every individual, respects the rule of law, but also respects the liberties of our religious institutions, our schools, our places of worship, are all things I think Hoosiers cherish, all things Hoosiers are proud of, and we'll continue to build on that foundation going forward.
And in a statement, State Democratic Party spokesman Drew Anderson argues the difficult period in Indiana is only beginning. He says not only did Governor Pence throw the state in a $250 million economic panic, but he is making taxpayers foot a $2 million plus bill to fix a mess that would have been prevented if he had simply vetoed RFRA in the first place. Reporting in the newsroom, Katie Hines, RTV 6.
Katie, thank you. And joining us now to discuss the legal implications of the new religious freedom law is IU School of Law professor David Orentlinker. Thank you very much for joining us, David. Appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
So with this law in effect, what's the real impact? What can you do or what can you not do under RFRA?
Well, the important point of this law is to ensure that you can be protected in your religious observance from discrimination by the government. If the government says, for example, we have a recent case in the Supreme Court, a Muslim prisoner wanted to grow a beard for religious reasons. There was a prison rule against it, and the federal law like this said, no, he's protected in his religious practice. What people were worried about when our RFRA was passed was that not only could you use it to protect yourself against discrimination, but you could use it to discriminate against others if you had religious beliefs against same-sex marriage, for example.
Thus the outroar.
Thus the uproar. As a result, we had the amendment, and the amendment makes clear that you cannot discriminate on the basis of religion against people because of their sexual orientation. So the defect in that is originally passed has been solved.
So the debate continues though on this. Do we still need a law that specifically states you can't discriminate based on sexual orientation?
Right. It solves the problem with the RFRA, but it doesn't solve the bigger problem, and that is to be sure that people are protected from discrimination on the basis of their sexual orientation. You need a statewide ordinance, statute, or better yet, we should have a federal statute. We're not there yet. In 1964, Congress passed a civil rights statute, so you can't be discriminated because of your race or your sex, but that has not been amended yet to include sexual orientation.
What kind of challenges could we see to this? We just saw the first Church of Cannabis already coming out day one.
Well, it's ironic because the original RFRA that was passed at the federal level was passed exactly for this reason, where Native Americans were smoking peyote as part of their religious rights. Right. And they didn't get First Amendment protection, they got protection from the statute. That is different from this case. And there's been a subsequent case from a group that moved from Brazil and has part of their long-standing religious practices, the use of a mind-altering substance that's illegal. So if you have a traditional religion that looks like a traditional religion, that has a Bible and priests and all the trappings of a religion, and you have as one of your rights the use of an illegal substance, you're protected. But if you create a new religion that's solely about the use of drugs, we've had cases like that, and the courts have said that is not going to be protected.
So the first Church of Cannabis might face an uphill battle, is what you're saying?
I think it's a very steep uphill battle.
All right. David Orentlinker, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Glad to do it.
All
Thanks.
right. Erica.